People are making thousands off y'all content. How does that feel?
To who? Who you asking?
Everybody. And racking in $3-4 grand a week off of your content only. How does it make you feel?
It's a couple answers. One, it ain't my content.
It's you though.
It ain't your bread.
Right?
Okay.
It's my content.
Okay. This is your
Not even
face,
close.
your conversation, your intellectual property. You giving
not your-
whatever.
it's not
you
your
want.
IP.
It's not your intellectual property.
So okay.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod.
Mona. I understand your frustration. Hell, the other day, I just saw somebody make a reactionary video to my reactionary videos. And the majority of the video was just me in the background. So trust me, I get what you're saying. But you've got to look at this as an opportunity. Somebody else that's outside of my wheelhouse saw something that I said and wants to make reactionary content off of it. I should be able to grow my fan base as a result of this. Because the thing that we don't do whenever we go viral is react to the people reacting to us. Because they have a base, and instead of utilizing their base like they're doing with us when they make content using our shit, we get frustrated and we just speak on them without letting it be known that we're speaking on them. We're speaking on them to our audience instead of speaking about them to their audience. So that's something to think of every time you go viral. And Mark has been utilizing and executing, but we'll dig deeper a little later as to why it's not working for him. Mona. I did some background checks. I did some digging. I saw who you were posting to because I was hoping that Don't Call Me White Girl was being posted to your own personal channel. And to my disappointment, but not my surprise, it wasn't. Breakbeat Media. I saw a couple of other podcasts under there from notable figures. Bubba Dub. I saw Funny Marco had a podcast under there. I see Trick Daddy's on there. Trapping Anonymous. They got a couple of pods under there that I've heard of, or at least heard of the host. But notice how a couple of those I said used to be. Funny Marco used to post there daily or weekly, and now it's been well over a year since he's posted, but all of his podcasts and all of his content is still on Breakbeat Media. So there's the correlation as to why Mona was getting frustrated, because it's happening to her currently at Breakbeat Media. Hell, I went on the page that, like I said, has posted multiple other podcasts, and on the description, it is speaking about her podcast. So hopefully she's the owner of Breakbeat Media, or she's clearly the cash cow. So this contract negotiation phase that she's going through is a real thing. And the people that are paying more attention to it than us are them, Breakbeat Media. We can't lose our cash cow. But it makes me want to dig deeper into why this is happening in the first place. Why do people who are notable figures sign to any type of corporation field in YouTube land? That's a real question I have. Because these same people will blow up underneath the umbrella of the label that they signed to. And then once they have the notoriety that they were seeking, they'll turn their back and try to become a victim and look at the label like, what did you do to help me ascend? Nigga, everything that has you to where you are currently. But we'll talk about IPs and intellectual properties and what it is that I own and they own, and they get frustrated when 5-10 years down the line happens and they sell the ship. Joe, this is the Joe Budden that I miss too. He used to speak all the time on Joe Rogan and the Spotify deal, and that's a big deal to me because they signed Joe Rogan, and I know he's the top dog. I get it. I get that. Let's get that out the way. He's the top dog, but they signed him to 3 years, $300 million contract for his intellectual property, which is his podcast, yes. But they wanted that YouTube exclusivity. Hey, look, we're not trying to take the YouTube from you, but for 3 years, you can't post to YouTube. You can leave your YouTube clips there, but everything new is coming over here to Spotify. There's a reason that they gave him so much money for the exclusivity. But like I said, I went on Breakbeat Media and I'm seeing podcasts from 2 or 3 years ago that are still up under the Breakbeat Media. And then I'm wondering why people are signing to these bigger corporations on YouTube. And then it clicked. Oh, we don't have the same laws or arbitrary laws that they have in Hollywood over here in YouTube. And unfortunately, those laws won't get made until this current crop of owners sells their shit. Because I'm seeing it happen at the volume currently. Colin Cowherd, who was a big sports analyst on ESPN, Fox Sports 1 for many years. The very first time I saw him was with Michelle Beadle, believe it or not. I think on Sports Nation a long time ago. And he has ascended to where he is currently, and he's signing other people that do the same shit he does. Why is this? What type of notoriety or exposure can you get under the volume or Breakbeat Media that you couldn't do on your own? And then unfortunately, because y'all are putting actual IPs on here and not just videos, whenever they sell the ships, because it's eventually going to happen, they're not accruing all these shows underneath their umbrella for no reason. When they eventually sell the ship, even if it's nowhere near what Joe Rogan got, but y'all got to think, he got that much money for a 3-year term. We have shows, we have a bunch of shows that people watch with notable figures. All of them. That's going to mean something in the long run, especially if we let you do your own thing and you're still making content. If it originated here, oh yeah, we gonna crack niggas over the head. And since we're not smart enough to try to get any points on these videos because we're just putting them out as videos, not realizing that each video we put out could be considered an intellectual property if we did all the copyrights for it. When these people eventually sell the ship, we're not gonna have anything to show for it except that I used to work there. Or because y'all are bringing all y'all energy and all y'all notoriety and all y'all audiences over to these platforms, when y'all leave, they might stick around because there's other notable figures that are over there. So instead of you converting their audience to your audience, they're converting your audience into their audience. And that's the same thing that the volume does with Shannon, the volume does with Rory and Mal, and the volume does with other podcasts that have nothing to do with fucking sports. But it doesn't matter because y'all have to come over here to watch it. So people that would have never invested in my channel prior to this or in my network prior to this are going to invest and probably check out everything else I have because, wow, he signed them and I rock with them. So what else do they have? We might have similar interests. And I've noticed it happen with Mark Lamont Hill because unless he has a JBP guest or he's doing a major interview as far as his political field is concerned, people from the JBP haven't transferred over to watch him on Night School the same way that people from Night School have come over to the JBP. Joe is the one that's reaping all the benefits from you joining, even though you are the one getting the boost right now, namesake-wise. And of course it's going to happen over time, but Joe's the one that sees the immediate boost from it. It's the same thing with Breakbeat Media and the volume and all these other people that are signing YouTube channels underneath corporations. So yes, Mona's going to be very frustrated when she speaks about intellectual property because she's seeing it happen right now. I'm the cash cow at Breakbeat Media, but the only reason I'm even entertaining the negotiation phase with you is because I already know these niggas are going to dick me. She's probably seen it happen already with Funny Marco or whoever else walked out the door. Because these niggas is getting something for signing over there. and y'all know how I feel about taking money up front. Look, I don't care if this YouTube channel didn't get paid for the first 3 years. If the 4th year I was making more than I ever would have received at anywhere else. But people aren't willing to put in that 3-year term. They want money right now, and I'm afraid if Mona was to sign with Joe, she's doing what everybody else is doing. Mark Lamont Hill's looking at this like, oh, this is a guaranteed income every month. Flip is looking at this like this is a guaranteed income every month. But Joe's just looking at everything that's happening over the course of 5, 6, 7 years. Which it was very revelatory when Joe said on the episode the other day, y'all niggas got 10 years. I don't want to hear after 10 years that y'all niggas got dicked. It's because after 10 years when they stop recording, what do you think happens to all these recordings, guys? And by the time that happens, because y'all are just ecstatic looking at it within 10 years, damn, I'm getting paid to talk for 10 more years. Y'all are just looking at it like that. Instead of, damn, what episode number is he going to be on after 10 years? Don't let Joe be in the 1,500 mark after 10 years and then everybody just call it a day. You think after 10 years the value in this hasn't risen? You think after 10 years, and this is where a lot of y'all are stuck whenever I say this shit, because I'll be saying 9 figures and niggas is just like, what? Where was Twitch at 5 years ago? Real fucking question. Because niggas is always talking about, oh, Twitch is not profitable, YouTube is not profitable. I don't give a damn about that. None of these entities would exist still if they were losing so much money, which is why you always see investors go to the tech field. There's a loophole in there, dog. And how fast has technology improved in the past 10 years? Let me ask you this, guys. Do y'all think that just because it's only on YouTube that these intellectual properties could only be on YouTube? And unless YouTube does the Facebook model and they're constantly evolving, YouTube's not going to always be the top dog, but I'm going to always have the intellectual property. And y'all already got paid from the videos y'all made. Joe is looking at this, and Colin Cowherd and whoever owns Breakbeat Media, like I said, I hope it's Mona. They're looking at this like y'all are looking at the money that y'all receive now as the payout. I'm not looking at any of the money I receive from this now as the payout. Y'all have to look at it how they look at it in the tech industry. Everybody in the tech industry that doesn't have stock options, they always feel like they get fucked every time the business gets sold, because the business gets sold for billions upon billions of dollars. Even though when they were working for the company, they were getting 6-figure deals, they were getting 6-figure month, or not monthly, but they were getting 5-figure monthly incomes, they were making 6 figures annually, knowing that they wouldn't have made that anywhere else. So they were getting well compensated. But once this company sells for $1 billion, you gonna get pissed. And this is exactly what's leading on the line for Joe and everybody else that has this type of corporation set up in YouTube land. Because niggas, they're not trying to get points on videos. They're just putting videos out thinking this is just a video, this is just a video. And it's one thing if you're putting video out on your own personal page and then somebody's just taking your shit and using it as their own. That's one thing, but you can fight that. It's another when you willingly sign on the contract into perpetuity, meaning for fucking ever. But I got paid for the video, so it's over and done with on my end. Mona, before you come to the JBP, because let's be clear, I'm biased. I like you a lot. I really want you on the JBP, but I want you to think about it first, because Mark Lamont Hill's going to think about it when the re-up comes. How much did this help me as opposed to how much did this help Joe? Notice how all the intellectual niggas are coming to Joe and talking shit to Joe. But I don't see any of the niggas that was just following Joe going to Mark's page. And that's something that niggas need to think about in the long term. But I appreciate you bringing this topic up, because a lot of us, we don't get real on these topics. We'll say something that'll have some gist behind it, and it'll have some umph behind it, like, oh shit, he might be onto something. But because it hasn't happened before, niggas will shoot that shit down and call you an idiot, call you crazy. Oh, that's dumb. What are you talking about? Equity points on a video? Yes, nigga. Yes, points on a video. And you can't tell me it's not impossible or it's impossible, because I look at public domain as a real thing. I look at that like a real thing. Why is it that I'm seeing fucking Winnie the Pooh and horror movies and Mickey Mouse? You niggas is drawing Mickey Mouse for Steamboat Willie days type shit. Why is that a thing? So you mean to tell me that copyrights can lose their protection if you're not constantly reapplying. But y'all think that we're just supposed to forever not get paid off of YouTube videos that have our likeness in it just because you already got paid. If business owners and the people that are billionaires thought like that, then they would sell their businesses and all their products from their business for way more than they do, because they would just be looking for the one-off. But it's not the one-off you need to be concerned with. What's going to happen with these videos 10 years from now? I don't want to hear the stories like you hear with all these musical artists. Niggas was getting paid in their primes. 10 years after the line, they see that the corporation that they signed to is up 10x and they're down 10x. And that's when everybody wants to start complaining. It's because they're not paying attention. But this went on way longer than I anticipated it. Like I said, I love it when they bring up the contractual topics and it's things that we normally don't speak on. But I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep running these hoes up. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know I appreciate you. Like I said, man, two vid minimum every day for the summer. Every single day. Y'all be safe. Peace.